Hey everybody, Phil here. And so today we want to continue our talk on SEO and keyword focus. And now we want to actually get into the practical application of that. So today we're actually want to get in and talk about using all of this on your website, on landing pages with Yoast. So if you don't already have it installed from watching our previous videos, so you would want to go ahead and get it installed. And once you do, you'll find it here as Yoast SEO in your plugin list. And you'll also find a new setting on your left-hand menu in WordPress. It's labeled SEO. Clicking it will take you to Yoast page. Typically, I recommend if it's your first time that you do run the configuration wizard that they have. Back in the day with InflatableOffice, it used to be that it was not actually compatible to run the configuration wizard with our plugin, but that has been since worked out, and we now actually do recommend it. It actually sets up several things for you. This has already been set up on this website, but just to kind of ask if the site's live and whether or not if it should be indexed. If your site is under construction and you're doing this, that's okay. Because I do want to note that anything and everything that happens in here can be changed later. And it's also important to note that you don't even have to run the configuration wizard. It is possible to set up Yoast manually. But it's actually pretty step-by-step, which is why we do recommend this instead of having to go through and find all those settings by yourself. But let's just do a quick run-through on Yoast, so that way we can make sure everybody understands it. And then we'll go into a specific page and look at the application of it there. So this is the general dashboard page. This kind of shows you, Yoast is constantly kind of looking at the site. Any problems it finds will be here. We definitely recommend taking action on anything there. If you ever run into anything you can't figure out, as always, reach out to me and I'm always happy to help. And then the other things here in general are the features tab. This allows you to turn on and off major features. And for the most part, you're always going to want to have all of this stuff turned on. And one thing you definitely want to be aware of in this list is the XML Sitemaps. By clicking the question mark button there, we'll bring up this text area here, and we can actually click here to see the XML sitemaps. That's definitely important to know. An important process for your site when you're setting it up on Google Search Console and getting analytics and all that set up is actually submitting these sitemaps to Google Search Console. That's kind of outside of the scope of this video. Possibly in the future we could do one. If you have any questions about that, reach out to me. But definitely good to know that that is there. Again, you want most of the stuff turned on, or I should say all of that stuff turned on. There is also a section here where you can actually take some of the webmaster tools that are out there and hook it up to here. Most of the things have since changed. This doesn't provide as much use as it used to here, but you can go ahead and hook up Google Search Console and get verification code to set this up. But moving on. Next up is search appearance. Everything in here allows you to really dig in deep and customize how different parts of your website are going to appear in search results and how websites are going to search engines are going to scrape the site and grab information. So this can be valuable to go through. General just allows you to set up the general things. These separators are actually going to be the separators you see separating elements in your search results on places like Google. Content type allows you to dig into different types of content on your site, like posts and pages, and actually change them around, whether or not they're actually going to show up in search results, whether their dates are going to show up, things of that nature. Again, that can be very useful. Same for media, whether or not and this is for the most part needs to be set to yes. You won't mess with it much. Taxonomy allows you to change category stuff. Archives allows you to deal with the archives of your site. For most of you, without any sort of blogs, that's not something you're going to deal with. Breadcrumbs are important. It's not turned on this site. For those of you with IO built sites, this is going to be turned on automatically. But for those of you who do not have sites with us, I would definitely recommend using these, turning them on, and going through the process of getting them implemented on your site. It can be a bit technical, so reach out if you need help, and we can provide a quote on doing so. But this really helps search engines understand the hierarchy of your site and how pages are arranged, so it can move around the site as it crawls. So definitely something that's good to have. And finally, RSS, something that, again, most of you, 99% of you, aren't going to ever need to mess with. This is for those of you with blogs. If you are one of the very few people who do run a blog, and I really do recommend that more of you do consider that, it's a great way to build authority and search ranking on your site. But that's where you can actually set up customizations for your feeds. Next up, we have social. And really, this is for plugging in your social information so that Yoast has that to provide to search engines. And then it also allows you to kind of do some customizations for the different social networks. A big one, for example, is if someone shares something from your site onto Facebook, say a page or a post, and there's not an image that it can be pulled from that for the how it displays on Facebook on their page. This will be something you can put here to actually create a default image. Same with Twitter and Pinterest. Typically, I don't mess with these too much, but they're good to know that are there. Tools. Biggest things that you should know about here is just the file editor. This allows you to touch your htaccess and robots files. Something that, again, not many of you are ever going to need to touch, but good to know that it's here. And then there's actually a brand new feature that just came out in the last few days on Yoast called indexation. This will be controlled here. You can also go ahead and ask it to recount links on your site from here as well. All good stuff to know. Something else that it does do that you should know about is it adds these fields to your pages list. So it allows you to keep track of inbound and outbound links, which is something that is good to know for SEO purposes. Now let's go to the page that, if you remember, we built a week or two ago, our landing page. I've done quite a bit of SEO work on this page, and as you can see here, we have a completely green score. This is where Yoast kind of gives us a heads-up display of the current page score. Green, of course, means good. Yellow is warning us that we have some work to do, and red means stop. You need to take a look. And so here's the edit page of this. And as we reviewed before, Yoast adds a bunch of information to the bottom of this page and allows us to really dig in. So if you paid attention to our video yesterday and you started doing some work on that, you'll know that we were building a variety of long tail and then head term keywords. And so if you had gone through that process and you kind of landed on, say, a goal, that's what we had done for this page. And if you remember the last video, we had actually, the last video where we've done landing pages, we had come across and we had figured out that what we wanted to do with this page and what our goal was to market portable hand wash stations in Winnipeg. So what Yoast has is the focus key phrase. And this is kind of a place to put in really 4 words, preferably a phrase, that really encapsulates the goal for this landing page. And so we've chosen portable hand wash stations. And I played with that key phrase quite a bit, went back and forth. You'll have to do the same on anything you choose. But once we did so, then we started using that as a guide to really build the content of the page. And so just by starting with that key phrase of portable hand wash stations, as you can see, our page title, it's here in the first paragraph. And if you would go through this page, you'll find that we've put that quite a bit. And of course, that seems very, very basic. But using that idea and then using synonyms and using related ideas to that and building upon it layer by layer, we've we're able to build a page here that really reiterates that same concept over and over again in many, many different ways to drive home a very singular sales message on this page, which is you need hand washing stations for your business to be safe, to keep your customers and your employees secure, and you have a limited time to act. Because you need your business to be healthy and safe now, but because supplies are limited and everyone else is looking to act because, well, this page is awesome and why wouldn't they be acting? So you need to now too. So using that process, I just kept building content, kind of just like I said, layer by layer. And then again, just using this tool to guide us. So let's look down through the analysis tool. And we've actually been through this list before, so I don't need to go through it in any great detail. But just simply understanding that going down through this list one by one, I was able to continue to hone the page in such a way that would make sure that it scores really, really well. So internal links, for example, we went through and just simply made sure that the page is linking out to other places on the website, and that conversely other places on the website are linking into this. That way, as search engines are building their vision of the website and how they view this website, they understand all the relations between these different pages and can understand the authority that this website has on the subject, most specifically right now of portable hand wash stations in the Winnipeg area. Now again, all of these have to do with key phrases and introductions and then meta descriptions, things of that nature. Again, just by working through them one and one, honing the page, coming back here, reloading and checking again and again, we were able to move more and more of these into the green. So again, I don't need to belabor the point by going through each one individually. But again, you can check out this particular page. And again, it's at pinnacleeventrentals.ca/portable hand wash stations Winnipeg. And you can just kind of see what I've done here in terms of layout and content, and kind of see how that relates as you look at your own pages and your own list. And just a few things I do want to point out, though, as we move on, is that you don't have to kill yourself to make sure that 100% of these things are in the green. You're going to have to make common sense decisions for where to stop, where you have the point of diminishing return in terms of your efforts. And again, Yoast is not an all-seeing, or no tool is an all-seeing tool that's going to tell you what's right 100% of the time. So as usual, use your common sense. And that is especially comes, I think, in the Readability tab, which is what we are going to talk about next real quick. And what this does is it focuses less on the technical SEO aspects and really just looks at what they consider to be the proper way to go about writing content. And of course, they have a lot of experience, so I would definitely use this as a guide, but again, taking everything they say with a grain of salt, especially in terms of transition words and flesh reading ease. Both of these are highly subjective elements, so definitely feel free to use them as a guide, but again, be guided by your common sense. So overall, what you have here is really a really great start for everyone here to just kind of start building their own landing pages. And I really want to reiterate the value of that. Again, the average IO client right now has just way too small of a website. Your home pages just, have very, very little content that is unique to your particular business. And then your product and category pages are just simply very simple. And that's how the site will, of course, comes to you, because sites have to be generalized to kind of fit all situations. But once the site is in your hands, there is so much you can do to really set yourself apart from your competitors in your market. And all of that comes down to really building out that content on your site in smart and insightful ways. So as you guys think up really cool ideas, reach out to me. I'm always willing to help. And again, we're just going to keep on making these videos. We'll come up with some cool ideas to show you guys. Thank you for your time as always, and have a great rest of your day.